Okay, so I have completed my highlighting, and I just want to kind of go over a couple things. So your highlighting should look just like mine once it's done and turned in. As you can see, I don't have red, I have pink because I have all of my highlighters up here. One of the things that I mentioned in the video was that our topic sentence for each paragraph would be highlighted in green. And I want to make a correction because that was incorrect. Anytime you are doing a topic sentence or a transition, okay, when we're transitioning to a new idea, a new paragraph, that's going to be blue. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight this in blue, and I apologize for giving you incorrect information in that video. So here's one topic sentence. This sentence is introducing what all of this paragraph is going to talk about, how in Hachiko, the author is proving that animals show happiness just like humans. And then the second topic sentence. Okay, so in this topic sentence, it's this whole paragraph is going to be talking about how in my life with the chimpanzees show that they can be afraid just like humans. So that's all of what this paragraph is about. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to do is just kind of talk about those key elements in here. So let's start at the top. We have our tag. We have the title, the author, and this essay is using two texts, so we have two titles and two authors. So I'm going to just put over here, this is the tag. And I also want to talk to you a little bit about the thesis. So that's usually the last sentence in the first paragraph. So that's right here. Humans and animals might appear to be very different. However, they both share the ability to show joy and happiness and fear. So this is our thesis. This is what the rest of the essay is talking about. And then the other thing I wanted to point out are those key sentence starters that are kind of like hints to the textual evidence and the examination. So the text states, that's a key phrase that's showing us that this is going to be textual evidence. This shows that. This is a key phrase that's going to show me that this is the examination. This is the author of this essay, their thinking. So I'm just going to do that with the second paragraph. This proves that the author states that. And I want you to look carefully at the last examination. We don't have one of these sentence starters here. So we really need to pay close attention to that and really look, is this the author's thinking or is it from the text? This is not from the text, so that's why this is in orange. But just be aware that you're not always going to have these sentence starters as clues to help you figure out if it's an examination or if it's textual evidence. In the ending, we have restated the thesis. So the authors of both texts prove that humans and animals share the ability to show happiness and fear. So this is where we restate. And our last sentence is our closing sentence. Maybe this is why some humans adore animals so much. This is going back to our claim, our thesis. Okay, so these are some clues right here. And I just wanted to make sure that you understood all of those different components that go into Tide. What you are going to be doing now, and I'll show you in a second, is we're going to take our completed and highlighted essay, and we're actually going to go backwards. So usually when we're writing, we plan everything out in a graphic organizer first. But I wanted to go backwards so you could see what the end result is supposed to look like. Okay, so now we're going to use what we have, and we're actually going to put it in a tied organizer. So as you can see, I've already kind of filled in the topic introduction, the green part. So if we look at our essay, we have our tag, the title, My Life with the Chimpanzees, and the author by Jane Goodall, and Hachiko, The True Story of a Loyal Dog by Pamela Turner, the author. So on my graphic organizer, I want to make sure I have the titles and the author. So I put at the top the titles, My Life with the Chimpanzees and Hachiko, The True Story of a Loyal Dog. And I also put our authors of each text. So Jane Goodall and Pamela Turner. The other thing we have to have in our topic introduction is to restate the prompt and include our thesis. Now we can kind of tie these two both together. So if we look over in our writing, we have the thesis, which says humans and animals might appear to be very different. However, they both share the ability to show joy and happiness and fear. So if we look back up at our prompt, we can see that the prompt is asking us to write an essay explaining the qualities the two authors believe. So that's actually kind of restated right here, where it says, they may appear to be very different, but they share the ability to show joy, happiness, and fear. So I want to make sure to include that on my organizer, right? Because if I'm starting with the organizer, I want to make sure I have all those things before I turn it into a full paragraph. So I've already written, animals and humans share the same qualities. Humans and animals may not have all the same qualities, but they do share happiness and fear. Okay? So if you look here, these are all bullet points. It's not a whole paragraph. I haven't written my paragraph yet. I'm just jotting down my ideas. Okay? The next thing that you need to do when you're filling out a graphic organizer is find the important evidence. So if we go back into this completed essay, we see that the first paragraph is about Hachiko. Okay, so I'm going to put that up here just so that I know that this one is about Hachiko. Okay, so I need to find evidence about Hachiko, so I have to go back into that text and find something that I can quote. In the essay, this author decided to use this quote, his entire body wiggling and quivering with delight, his eyes shone, and his mouth curled up into something that looked to me just like a smile. All right, that is a lot of words, right? So remember, when we're doing our graphic organizer, we don't need to write all of that out, but we do need to know what quote we're using. So I'm going to put in quotes, his entire body wiggling, and then I'm going to use these dots right here. And this means that the quote continues to go all the way up until like a smile. So that way I know in my planner that I'm going to be using this quote all the way up to where it ends, where it says like a smile. But I don't want to write out that whole thing because that's a lot to write out. Now, my examination, this is my thoughts, right? Or the author's thoughts. So that's what you have to say about the quote. So why did you choose this quote? How does it support what you're trying to explain? How these two texts, the authors show that these animals feel happiness and fear. Okay, so in the first paragraph here, this author shows that Hachiko was acting joyful. So I can put that as a bullet point. Hachiko, that's capitalized, is joyful. Humans might show joy in other ways, like jumping up and down or clapping. So I could just put humans show joy in other ways. Dog owners might feel like they can relate to their pets when they show joy, and this strengthens their relationship. So we could put relate to pets. Okay, so this is what my outline would look like for my first body paragraph, all about Haichiko. The next paragraph is talking about my life with the chimpanzees. So I'm just going to put that up here because that's what this paragraph is about. I'm just going to put chimpanzees. And remember, I'm looking for textual evidence. Let's see if I move this a little closer. Okay, so in this essay, this person actually used two pieces of evidence, and we can see that really easily because we highlighted it. So one piece of evidence is they were afraid of the strange white skinned creature, that was I, and gave their barking alarm call. So remember, we don't have to write all of that out, but we do need to write the beginning and the end. So they were afraid, ... because that means I'm going to continue all the way until alarm call. And then the next one, the next piece of evidence that this person used was, I saw the dark shape all the way up until it was a buffalo. I saw the ... was a buffalo. Okay, so now I have those two quotes that I want to use in my essay, right? And I need my detailed examination. So this is my thinking, the author's thinking. So let's see what this author put. They wrote, this proves that animals were skeptical of Jane, even though she didn't want to hurt them. So we can put over here, animals skeptical of human. The chimps were probably fearful because they'd never seen a human. Gombe National Park was home to animals and trees, but not many humans. So we could put Gombe, not home to humans. Because remember, these are just our quick thoughts. We haven't actually written all of our sentences yet, right? I'm showing you what it would look like going backwards. Gombe, not home to humans. And then the last part of the examination that this author uses for their second piece of evidence, Jane understood the emotion of fear, so she could be sympathetic to the chimpanzees. So we can put over here, Jane, sympathetic to chimps. And if you look here, there's a spot for a third paragraph, right? Our third body paragraph. This essay does not have one, so we don't have to do anything with this. But we do need to make sure we have an ending, right? So here, this is where we restate part of our thesis. So if we look here, the authors of both texts prove that humans and animals share the ability to show happiness and fear. So I can simply put authors both show that humans and animals can show happiness and fear. Okay, and then my closing sentence, maybe this is why humans adore animals so much. So could be why humans like animals. All right, so now you've seen how we can plan, right? We did it backwards. We read the exemplar first, a good piece of writing. We looked at all the different components, and then we worked backwards and we filled out our graphic organizer. When you guys are writing your own essay, your own piece of writing, you're actually going to do it the other way around. You're going to come up with the ideas. You're going to jot down your tag, your thesis here first, your textual evidence, some ideas about what you want to write about for your examination, and your ending, how you want to restate your thesis and your closing sentence. When you finish that, that's when you're able to actually write your entire essay. Okay? So your job right now is to make sure that you have all of this written down, typed up in your graphic organizer. So you're going to have to pause the video and type this out. And then once you're done, you can turn it in.